2-1, standard form of a linear equation. This is standard form here, ax plus by equals c. A, B, and c are integers. We don't want a to be a negative value, and we don't want either a or b to be 0. So make sure that you follow those rules. In this case here, it's already written in standard form. So 3x plus 5y equals 12. The a is 3, the b is 5, and the c is 12. Let's write these two examples in standard form. So we need our 6x to be in front because it's ax. So we need to subtract 6x, subtract 6x, subtract 6x, and currently I have negative 6x plus y equals 5, and because we don't want the 6 in front to be negative, the accepted form of this, if we divided everything by negative 1, would be 6x minus y equals negative 5. This would be what you'd need to write to be accepted correctly. Here, the 3x is already on the left. We need to bring over the 2y, so plus 2y, plus 2y. So we'll have 3x plus 2y equals negative 1, and because I'm not starting with a negative, I don't have to divide like I did over here. So this is okay. 3x plus 2y equals negative 1. Now let's identify the a, b, and c for both of these. The a in this case is 6. The b is negative 1. If you don't see a value in front of a variable, it's understood to be a 1. And in this case, because we have the minus sign, it's negative. And the c is negative 5. Over here, the a is 3, the b is 2, and the c is negative 1. Also in this lesson, you'll need to learn about intercepts. So to graph a line, you need to have 2 points. You learn this in geometry. You need to have 2 points. And you can use the points where the graph crosses the x and the y axis, so this point and this point, and connect them, and you have a line. So the place or the point where the graph crosses the axis is called intercept. So in this case, this would be the x-intercept because it crosses the x-axis. This would be called the y-intercept because it crosses the y-axis. So the x-intercept, sometimes we abbreviate and write int for intercept, is negative 4. And you'll need to know that that means if it's a point on the x-axis, that means it lands at negative 4 and 0 for the y because it did not move up or down. This would be the y-intercept because that's where it crosses the y-axis. 8/3. And the point, because we did not move left or right to go anywhere for x, we stayed at 0, and then we moved up 8/3. That point always has 0 as its x value and 8/3. So, to determine the x and y intercepts from a graph, you look at where it crosses that particular axis. The x-intercept will always have 0 as a y value in the point, and the y-intercept will always have 0 as its x value for a point. Flipping over, not flipping over, going on to this third page, sorry. If you're given an equation, maybe you're not given a graph, you can't like see it, you can't look at the graph and determine what the x and the y intercept is, you can plug in 0 for either the x or the y to find the intercepts. So remember that the x-intercepts always have a 0 as their y-coordinate. So you would have some number for the x value, but 0 for the y. And then the y-intercept always has a 0 for the x and some number for the y value in the ordered pair. So if you want to find the x and the y-intercepts here, we plug in 0 depending on which one we're looking to find. If I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. So here I'm going to plug in 0 for y, and I'll get 5x plus 12. Continue solving. Subtract 12, subtract 12. So I have negative 12 equals 5x, divide by 5, divide by 5. And so x is negative 12 over 5. Now when I graph this in a few minutes, we'll change this to kind of help us see it on the graph. But for right now, this is our x-intercept. X-intercept is at negative 12 over 5. To get the y-intercept, we would need to plug in 0 for the x value, because they always, if it's a y-intercept, the x is going to be 0. So y equals 5 times 0 plus 12. 5 times 0 is just 0, so y equals 0 plus 12, which is just 12. This is the y-intercept. Now we need to graph. Well, the y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and it crosses the y-axis at 12. And here I'll look at this as negative 2, because 5 will go into 12 2 times. That would be 10. We would have 2 left over out of 5. And I'm just going to graph this as best as I can. Be really close to the halfway mark. And when you're graphing, you always need to have a straight edge. So make sure you draw all your lines with a ruler or a straight edge, or I'm going to have to take points off, because then it won't be a line if it's not straight. And as long as you give me the value that's close, if you're given a fraction and your scale here does not match and you're having to just eye it and see where it goes, then as long as you have a good estimate there, you will be fine. I will not take points off for that, but do draw them with a straight edge. Okay, here. So I have 2x plus 3y equals 12. If I plug in 0 for x, and solve, 2 times 0, that will cancel out because it'll just be 0. I'll be left with 3y equals 12, and therefore y equals 4 when I divide. So my y-intercept is at 4. Again, my y-axis is here, my x-axis is here. Y-intercept equals 4. And to get the x-intercept, I plug in 0 for y. So 2x plus 3 times 0 equals 12. So 2x equals 12, and when I divide, x will equal 6. So x equals 6, that's all the way over here, and now I can graph a line. X-intercept is 6. Take your straight edge, connect the dots. That's how you graph lines using intercepts and all about intercepts. All right, ask me if you have any questions.